Hey everyone, Joe Gonzalez here, and I wanted to take a few minutes to welcome you and introduce you into the Financial Patriots group. The fact that you're in this group tells me that you're a lot like me and you want to survive and thrive in the new world. And what do I mean by the new world? Well, over the past several months of 2020, there has just been an incredible awakening based on what we have all gone through all over the world in lockstep. And I want you to know that this is definitely something that, while it is surprising the extent of it, I'm not at all surprised that this has happened. And as a matter of fact, I've basically planned for it. The world as we know it is changing right before our eyes. And I created a Financial Patriots group to help you protect yourself against what is happening and against what is coming right now to us in the United States of America, as well as in other places of the world. The United States happens to be the world's leading economic power, but I'm afraid that's all about to change, or it could change, and we have to protect ourselves for what may happen. So a little bit about myself. I actually grew up as a kid wanting to be a banker, and I realized my dreams and I went to work in 1991 for one of the largest banks in the country. And I soon found myself in the commercial real estate group within that bank, and I spent the next 23 years in the commercial real estate industry. And over the course of 1991, when I came out of college with a finance degree, by the way, and that was coming out of a recession, and then I started my career, and in 1998 there was what we call the Russian bond crisis, and then all of a sudden there was the dot-com bust. There was a big rise and fall of the dot-com stocks in 1999 to 2000. And then in 2007, 2008, when we got hit by the banking and housing crisis, my world, understand that I've been going through this for over 30 years. And what happened is I decided that I better study why this was happening, because I thought this is happening too often and people are getting hurt by this. So if it's so predictable that it's happening every 7 to 10 years, what can we do about it? So I stayed in the financial services industry for a few more years and then finally got out about 2015. But I started just going down all these rabbit holes to understand what banking really was, and realizing how big the banking industry was and how much control the financial and banking industry has on all of us, okay? And if you don't realize this, we are actually run by the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank of the United States. Now, the Fed has more power over us than you can imagine. As a matter of fact, if you just take a couple of dollar bills out of your wallet or purse and you hold them and you realize it's nothing, it's just paper. And the fact is, that is absolutely correct. These dollar bills are just nothing but paper. In fact, these are Federal Reserve notes. If you read them, it says Federal Reserve note. And a note means it's a liability. This means that these dollars, every time they come to existence, more debt is created. And as a matter of fact, it's just a promise to pay. And it's a promise to pay by who? The government. Who is the government? You. It's people. It's taxpayers. And it used to be that these dollars were actually backed by gold in the vaults at the Federal Reserve in Fort Knox and stuff like that. But in 1971, they decided to remove the gold standard from our system, and ever since then we have just been on a downward spiral, losing our wealth, losing our purchasing power. And here's the fact: over the course of thousands of years, hundreds and hundreds of different types of paper money systems, fiat currency as it's called, backed by nothing, have been created, and every single one of them have just vanished, have burned up, turned into nothing. Once I realized this and learned it, I realized that we were actually in a rigged system. There is a whole financial system that uses this knowledge of debt and the fact that this is debt and they're trapping you with debt. But some people use this debt to their advantage and some people use it to entrap themselves, and guess who benefits? So if you've noticed, we've gone through a period where there is tremendous wealth inequities. There eventually is going to be just a total rich elite class and then a very poor class. There is not going to be any middle class because all the wealth is getting separated. And if you understand what's happening, you can actually use this to your advantage and decide which side of that you want to be on by protecting the wealth that you have from events that are coming right now as we speak, that are happening throughout the world. So what is a financial patriot? Well, a patriot is someone that vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies and detractors. And in the United States, we have our Bill of Rights, which gives us certain inalienable rights, including the right of free speech, the right to own private property, the Second Amendment, all of these things that may be different than other areas of the world, but that means that the government cannot take away from our ability to be ourselves and to earn our own income and to protect our private property. But because the financial system is rigged, and if you don't understand how it works, they will continue to use that to continue deflating your dollars and increasing inflation, which decreases your purchasing power and eliminates your wealth. So in this group, it's going to be focused around teaching you steps to take in order to protect that wealth that you have and your personal individual liberties future as well as financial future. Now, this is going to be run in different groups. It's not going to be an open group and a free-for-all. I'm going to keep tight controls on this group because we have to stay focused on the mission at hand. And what I found from other groups is people just begin posting a bunch of things that's irrelevant or it gets off track. And you'll be free to comment under my post, but each post is going to be centered around certain topics of the day. And through those posts, we're going to teach you how to be a financial patriot and protect yourself in the future. So for instance, we're going to be talking about current events that impact our personal pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, and financial security. We're going to understand our inalienable rights based on our Constitution. Notice I have my Alamo hat, which represents 2A on right here, and be willing to stand up for them. We're going to understand that our main monetary system, our banking system and everything, and that our Federal Reserve is not a federal institution. It's actually privately owned, and it controls our entire financial system, okay? And then we're going to learn how government and big corporations work together to subdue, control, and profit, and then the danger that represents to our personal liberty and our futures. And we're also going to learn how to take back control of our future and how to create our own personal economy, protect ourselves from this new world order that's actually happening all around the world as they all are working in lockstep with each other, and to protect us from an overreaching government. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to be talking about things like gold and silver, and how gold and silver as precious metals actually serve to protect your wealth. Gold and silver are immutable wealth. That means they cannot be changed over time. As a matter of fact, gold and silver has been around for over 5,000 years as actual money. This is not money. This is currency, and currency is designed to actually be ruined over time, okay? And gold and silver actually holds its value as a store of value and can be used in barter and exchange and has been used as that for over 5,000 years. And over those years, with all of the paper currencies and the stuff that's not backed by gold, which nothing is backed by gold anymore in the world, every single one of the paper currencies or fiat money made by government has totally been destroyed. And the only thing that has survived over time is gold and silver. So you got to remember that gold and silver are actually elements that are taken from the earth. They're not created by man, and there's a limited supply of them. And it's not digits on a computer screen. It's actually real pure metal, precious metal that you can hold in your hand. For instance, this is a Canadian maple leaf, just absolutely beautiful coins. This is a buffalo round. This is a 10-ounce silver bar. This is a 100-ounce silver bar. Here are some American Mint gold or silver eagles. And here's a Credit Suisse 1-ounce gold bar, as well as a U.S. Mint $50 gold piece, which is actually a 1-ounce American Eagle gold piece. Now, I am going to, in this group, teach you why this is important to protect yourself, why it works, and also know that I am a broker rep for Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, licensed with the state of Minnesota. Miles Franklin has been in existence for 30 plus years and is one of only 25 authorized U.S. Mint resellers, and that means these actual U.S. Mint coins, one of only 25 actual resellers in the country. The state of Minnesota also requires licensing and bonding, and the reason why that is important and to be part of Miles Franklin was important to me was to help my friends, because the state of Minnesota is the only state in the country that actually requires licensing of precious metals dealers. And that is very important to you, as opposed to people just buying things off of the internet through anyone. Understand that there are only 20-some authorized U.S. Mint resellers, and there are only a couple that are actually licensed in the state of Minnesota, which means they're the only ones in the country. Now, the other part of protecting our wealth and being independent is wealth is health. Wealth is, the fact that you can stay independent, and part of that is having food and water. So we're also going to be talking about having long-term food storage. This is what I call it. It's an ammo box full of just a weekend of food, okay? And food is something that they are actually working to limit the supply chains right now, and we could be in the future looking at food shortages, and catastrophes can happen and everything else in the food supply chain. If you recall at the beginning of this, when people get toilet paper, the food supply chain is being disrupted. So food storage and clean water, having access to clean water and having water purifiers and that sort of thing is important. So that is going to be part of this group, is understanding the food storage and food supply chain. And then bartering, again, silver, gold, etc. Bartering is part of the system of the future. If you want to be independent, creating a community of like-minded people that you can count on. And these are all the things that we're going to be talking about in the group, which is basically, again, centered around how to be a free and independent person, free from the government and free from all the government overreach and control mechanisms and ways that they actually steal your wealth, and show you how to protect your wealth and how to be secure yourself well into the future as we go through this transitional phase in the United States of America and around the world. So enjoy this group. I really appreciate you being here, and I look forward to learn more and helping you out in any way possible. Thanks.